Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. Today I'm joined by Nick, or some people will know him as Melon, from Twitter to discuss what they're doing. Previously they had Jungle Analytics and now they're moving to Dex Hunter. So Nick is here to tell me all about that today. Nick, very welcome on the channel.
Awesome. Pleasure to be here. Appreciate bringing me on.
No worries. So look, usually we jump straight into it here. Can you give a very brief intro to yourself, and then we'll get into what the project is and everything it's going to be doing?
Absolutely. So for 2 previous years, I've been working on Jungle Analytics. That was the platform that handled NFT stats, NFT sniping, and all this good and nice stuff. And also I've been working on JPEG Store Marketplace at the same time. So now we're kind of rebranding the Jungle and moving towards the DeFi side. And we're building a Dex Aggregator instead, while bringing over some of the previous Jungle features and making it way more smoother, way nicer, and way faster.
And are you still part of JPEG Store, or are you now just working on Dex Hunter?
I'm still part of the JPEG Store, yes, that's correct. I'm working, I've been working on Jungle and JPEG Store for about 1 year and 2 months at the same time. So crypto lives 24/7, so do I. So I basically have 2 full-time jobs.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll be talking to some of the JPEG Store team in the next few weeks. We haven't set a date on that yet, just to talk about everything that's gone on there and what the future looks like. But so Jungle Analytics, can you give what it is, and then we will go to Dex Hunter, which is, I suppose, the evolution of it. You're going to be bringing some features into Dex Hunter, but adding a lot of new stuff too.
So originally, Jungle started as a simple NFT sniping extension. For those people who don't know that what NFT sniping is basically alerts for new listings. Originally, you were able to set alerts for price, rarity, and trades, and then we would notify you about NFTs being listed on the market. And then eventually added the ability also to buy it from our page ahead of marketplace, basically. Instead of, you wouldn't have to go to the marketplace, but you can buy directly from Jungle. And then after that, we expanded to analytics. We brought historical data, some stats, and some real-time ranks for NFTs as well. And after that, we added portfolio and a bunch of other features. So market-wide statistics. And we just kept adding for 1.5 years, and then realized that we added too many features, basically. And a lot of people are confused about the offering, about the tiers, because both the sniping platform had tiers, and also Jungle, the analytics side, had tiers. So we decided to just simplify the offering, rebrand, started basically over, bring some features, for example, the core ones, the NFT sniping, to the new platform, make it very simple for users to use. Instead of having 3 tiers like we had before and a couple paid features, now we're going to have only 2 tiers, the free and premium. So we're just focusing on improving the UI now and making the platform very, very user-friendly.
Okay, and that will all be under the Dex Hunter brand, and will Jungle close and just redirect to Dex Hunter then?
So the plan is to, while we didn't migrate the NFT sniping platform, which is one of the few features we migrate from Jungle, we're going to keep it alive. And then once it's fully migrated, fully operational in Dex Hunter, then we're just going to close the previous Jungle site and set up the redirecting. Yes.
Okay, so what's the overview for Dex Hunter then? I know you said there you're bringing in some of the older features, but you're going to be bringing in lots of new features too.
Exactly. So original focus of Jungle was just NFTs. It was all about NFT sniping analytics, but now we're focusing on primarily tokens, NFTs secondary. So now, like, primary feature of Dex Hunter is Dex aggregation. So it's going to find the best value for your ADA and for your swaps across multiple dexes. So we're going to have partial fills, very optimized and fast transactions, and all this stuff. And then the secondary feature secondary focus we're going to have is real-time market alerts. So we're going to notify about unusual activity, about spikes in volume, and more advanced alerts provided by Cerberus. That's one of our partners for the new platform. And then third focus is going to be migrating NFT platform and NFTs. But core platform feature would be tokens for sure.
Okay, so yeah, I suppose for anyone who hasn't heard of aggregators before, we have multiple different dexes right now, and potentially even more in the future. So this will be one site you could go to, and it searches across all of them and gets you you the best value for your trade. So rather than you having to check them individually, it means that you go to one place and it will find where your trade should happen, and then it can execute it for you. And just on the alerts and stuff like that, then will someone be able to set automatic trades on that, that if certain conditions happen, then they can execute a trade to buy a token or to sell a token either?
So let me expand about the DEX aggregation first. What you said is correct, but currently what we have is the current DEX aggregators that we have on Cardano is basically best liquidity and based price finders. They're not actually aggregating DEX. What we're going to do is we're going to check all the DEXs, and then especially that's very prioritizing for high value orders, right? So if you trade high amounts of ADA, you're looking at price impacts, you're looking at most liquidity at the same time. So for example, if your trade is like 100,000 ADA, we're going to split it across DEXs to calculate both price impacts, both pending transactions and liquidity. And we're going to split this 100,000 ADA into basically pieces to get you the best tokens for your ADA. Because if you just traded it on one DEX, you'd get way less tokens compared to the split. That's one of the bigger advantages of partial fills. But regarding alerts, we want to make it very simple. We want to have one default alert system. For example, if you just watchlist tokens, you're going to get some certain default alerts, like basic alerts like price spikes, volume spikes. And also you can toggle, for example, advanced alerts. You'll get suspicious activity and usual market activity, risk ratings changed and stuff. And then we will also give you an ability to customize alerts, right? So you'll be able to say, I want to get notified when the price reaches a certain point, but we really want to make it simple to not overcrowd the user with options. So it's going to be mostly in the V1 is certainly going to be default to or advanced, basically, for alerts. And some people don't want to receive unusual market activity alerts. They just want to receive basic price updates, for example. So we really want to target both like regular users who want to use this for convenience and pro traders that want to know everything about the token and every suspicious thing about it.
Yeah, for people that are looking to trade bigger amounts, having that, being able to split across multiple DEXs is a great feature to have, because potentially you could save a decent amount. You'll pay, I presume you pay the fees on each DEX then. Can it go through as one transaction, or how does something like that work?
Yes, so it's going to go in one transaction. We can aggregate all the DEX partial fills into one transaction. You'll still have to pay the DEX fee because we are not actually executing your transactions. We're just routing it to DEXs, so they're still executing your transactions. But yeah, you have to pay the DEX fee for all the partial fills, but they're all going to be bundled in one transaction.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. So you can have the outputs going to multiple different smart contracts, I suppose, because that's what would be for the DEX in each case. And on the market alerts then, so say will there be bots there, arbitrage opportunities? Could you set up things like that with what you have with the market alerts, or is that a different type of product?
So what we have right now for NFT Sniping platform, just to give you an example, we have our own custom wallet, so to say, and you were able to set up auto buys for NFTs based on alerts, but it's very hard to maintain, and you also have to trust us because the wallet is customized in the backend and it's closed source, so you have to trust us to sort of execute alerts correctly. So we want to kind of get rid of this friction because a lot of people are obviously concerned of having some side wallet executing their trades. So we're going to simplify that, and we plan to have limit orders on the platform eventually. Not in the version 1. The version 1 is purely going to be instant swaps, so market orders. But what you're basically saying is that whether you can execute a trade on alert, and that's the plan, but that will require a bit more tinkering. So not in the version 1. But we're looking to integrate that eventually for sure.
Okay, I think that will be a good feature, because if someone comes in with a big amount of tokens and they essentially dump them all on one DEX, that could really drop the price on that DEX. So if there is something that can get that alert and buy it up fairly quick to even out the price across DEXs, they could buy low there and try and sell on another DEX. Like we see there's different arbitrage. I think we're really coming into the stage of bots really starting to get involved in Cardano trading now. When we're at that stage, there's multiple DEXs, there's more opportunities coming out there. And these alerts, will they be mobile based, or are they just on a website, or how does that work?
They're going to be, we're going to have a mobile app basically replicating some of the UI as well. We currently have a Jungle app that's going to be redesigned and redeployed, and market alerts you'll be able to receive on both platforms. And the end goal, what we want to achieve is, for example, you get an alert on mobile, you click on it, and you'll be deep linked to a wallet, and you'll be able to execute the trade for that token right away from the alert. Because like if you don't want to, for example, have automated trading, you want to have just an ability to react to alert to market shifts, you'll be able to do that from mobile and basically wherever you are. So that's one of the things that we wanted to do. We have it for NFTs on Juggle already, but for tokens it's a bit different. And we want to partner up with mobile wallets to make this whole execution and flow very seamless.
Okay, yeah, I even seen there's a Telegram bot out now for Cardano for trading straight through Telegram, and only tried a very small bit yet, but things like that are going to really push, I suppose, opportunities out there and people taking advantage of them.
For sure. The Cardano DeFi is expanding. There are new platforms launching new products, and it's great to see. The only problem with those kind of bots is people have to be careful not to put, unless it's a very trusted team and you're like bulletproof docs and stuff, and you've used the product for a year. The only problem with those bots is that they create a wallet for you and you have to top it up, so they hold the keys to your wallet. So you know, you have to be very careful to not, you know, if for example they can launch a product, they can start small, but at some point if their wallets would hold like millions and millions of ADA from users, you know, it gets a bit risky, I think, for everyone. So it definitely reduces the friction. I think Telegram bots are focused on when there's a heavy load that they can still execute trades, because sometimes under heavy load current dexes are struggling to keep up with the demand. So it is definitely a good direction, a good thing to have, but I just urge people to like do the research, make sure the team is trusted, and you know, the bots can be very helpful, but also very harmful for sure.
Yeah, that is a good point on it, and it's why I'm generally hardware wallet for 99% of everything stays on that, unless I'm trading fairly active. I might put it into a hot wallet then for a few days trading, but generally it's back to a hardware wallet fairly quick. And I'm always cautious, if I don't hold the keys or if someone else holds the keys to a wallet, it's not going to have much funds in it from me. But it's great to see these opportunities evolving and seeing what's out there. But like you say, do your own research on everyone and the team and everything before you get into anything. So to actually use all of these features, then you mentioned there's going to be premium and free. So do you want to talk about how that works, or how people can get in and use them?
For sure. So all the swaps, all the alerts, and other stuff is going to be free, right? So you will be able to use all those features to some extent without paying anything and without holding any tokens. Especially the Dex aggregation is going to act like any other Dex, where you just go there and you do the swaps and that's it. The only thing that we're going to like sort of make premium is alert amounts and alert types. So as I mentioned, for example, the advanced alerts about very sophisticated like risk score changes are probably going to be behind the X token held amount. So if you hold X amount of hunt tokens, you'll be able to access it. And then we're going to do discounts on swaps if you hold amount of token, and discounts of NFT sniping. But you'll be still able to use those features without holding anything. So to some extent, yeah. So that's about it. And then, for example, one of the other things that one of the other features we wanted to push on is we're going to provide everyone a free custom node. So as you know, on heavy load on Cardano, sometimes the wallet nodes if people submit a bunch of transactions, they struggle. So we're going to provide everyone a free custom node to be able to transact faster, basically on average. And the custom nodes are also going to be tiered. So there's going to be a base custom node for free. That's going to be still better than probably a regular node. And then a premium node, which is going to be probably for holding X amount of token too, which is going to be like a geographically optimized with multiple relays and like, in short, super fast. So that's one of the other things we're going to do as well.
Okay, as was less people having access to it as well, trying to put the transactions through at once. And just to go back and clarify one part, you said about premium will have discounts on swap fees. They won't be the DEX fees. They will be whatever fees you're putting onto the swap, isn't it?
Correct. Correct. So it's going to be similar structure. I think is if people are Cardano, they're familiar how MintSwap does it. So if you hold a certain amount of Mint tokens, you have a discount on their DEX, right? So you pay instead of to aid a better fee, you pay like 1.75 or 1.5, depends on the token amount you hold. So we cannot we cannot discount DEX fee because that's their fee. They control it basically, but we can discount our fee of the DEX aggregation itself. So that's that we're going to be using token for one of the two.
Okay, so we talked about the token there. To get into that now, you're currently, I see you put out the tokenomics. There is a sale coming up. Do you want to talk a bit about the token and how it's going to work there?
For sure. So we just put the details, I think, yesterday that the pre-sale is happening in 2 weeks almost, on 22nd August. And we published the tokenomics article. I'm not sure if I can share the screen to just briefly show it. I can do that, right?
Yeah, you should be able to present there on the bottom.
Screen just to so people see what I'm talking about. Our screen, let's see. Okay. Can you see it? Yeah, all good?
Yeah.
Yeah, so also we published our new flashy homepage as well, but that's going to showcase. But yeah, we published the tokenomics, so we're putting 70% towards pre-sale on 22nd August. And here you can see the breakdown. So we're taking 10% for the team, 5% for the previous holders airdrop because we're doing the previous jungle NFTs to token transitions. And then we're getting a couple other percent for incentives and marketing and providing liquidity. So that's in short. And then about the token utility, as I mentioned, you're going to have swap discounts, the premium features, which one of them is going to be unlimited and advanced alerts. And then sniping discount if you're in NFT sniping, and faster trades. That is the node part I mentioned, that it's going to be a free node for everyone. And then if you hold X amount of tokens, then you're going to be eligible for the super fast node, so to say. So that's very in short about the token utility. And I have to mention that this is just version 1. One thing I learned from developing the platform and running the project before, we focused on too many things at once. So this time I learned my lesson. I'm going to focus on very few things, but do them bulletproof and perfectly until switching to other things. But there are a couple of other plans that we didn't mention in the light paper. So we had a lot of ideas, but we want to make sure that the Dex aggregation alerts and anti-snapping works perfectly first before moving on to the next things.
Okay, and just to go back on the token as well, for the token, and you were saying about people, it's holding a certain number of tokens. It won't be that you use the token as the payment method for the services, is it?
Yeah, for now we just think that making it, we're going to announce everything precisely later, but the plan is just to hold the token. So we didn't want to really complicate it with staking or anything else. It's just going to be hold the token, then you have access to premium features. You're not really tied. So if you decide that you're not longer interested, you're free to go. So non-binding basically.
Okay, yeah, and it means everyone holds custody of their own funds as well. They don't have to give up the token to stake it to get the features or anything like that. And just on people who held NFTs from Jungle and everything like that, did you say they're getting an airdrop, or did I see something about discounts as well for the pre-sale?
Yes, that's correct. So originally we had the NFT sniping platform available if you held the 100 pass NFT. So now with the transition to keep the platform premium access for the original holders, that's what the airdrop is for, just to keep their premium features. And then they also get the guaranteed allocation and pre-sale and the discount. So that's how we carry on the value from the previous NFTs to the token. It's a bit easier to it's a bit easier to maintain if you have only one token, and it's allows you to it's kind of standard for dexes and dex aggregators to have the token. It's much more easier to maintain, less friction. So that's why we are taking the token approach instead of NFTs for this project.
Okay. And anything else on the platform we haven't kind of touched on here, or anything we should have brought up?
I believe that those are the core features. Nothing else has been really publicly announced, so those are the things that really want to make bulletproof first, and then go from there. Really. The one thing I mentioned is that, the one thing I mentioned, wanted to mention that one of the other core focuses that improving UI and UX, because currently I think on Cardano many projects and they do focus on tech first, which is great, but they put UI and the UX second, and I think that's been like a very pain point for bringing new users, for adoption, for smooth experience. So we kind of really want to nail down that part and do a lot of user feedback, a lot of user testing, and create a very, very neat and smooth experience for users while having good tech. So they would complement each other. So we don't want to like heavy focus on tech and completely ignore the UI.
Yeah, I think you can have the best product in the world, but if it doesn't have a simple, easy to use interface, then it's not going to do very well. And it's only going to frustrate people who will walk away then after that. But just, you touched on there some of the points about other bits around Cardano. What's your overall thoughts right now? And I suppose DeFi and where we are in it. We're still early days. Like, it feels, for people who might have been here the whole way through, it might feel like we're further on than we actually are. But I think we're still fairly early on. But what's your own thoughts on it as someone who's been around for a while and seen a lot of stats on it?
Yeah, we're definitely early in DeFi, and I personally has spent a tremendous amount of time in NFT space originally. So, I joined Cardano almost like 2 years ago now, and I've been primarily NFT focused, and then I switched to DeFi like a year ago. Started exploring it, researching, and checking out what's up. And we're definitely very early, but products keep improving. That's great to see. They keep putting a lot of efforts into design and making improvements. Like, I believe a lot of projects are switching to icon smart contracts, and the performance increases tremendously. So kudos to creators. I know I've worked with Lucas and Casey before, and they're actively working on it. So shout out to them. It's definitely getting there. It's nice to see teams launching new products and new people coming into space. For example, I did my part. I did on Twitter a couple of threads about how to improve the UI. I did some suggestions to projects for a while, and then I ran out of projects to do it for. But now I think with a couple new projects coming in, I still will be able to do that. But yeah, we have Indigo, Iagon, Lenfi, and bunch of other projects doing a great job. So it's definitely early, but it's definitely maturing. And as we see, there's a lot of new liquidity locked, and a lot of new volumes for DeFi, and yeah, it's great to see. Honestly, a lot of people are excited. That's what's important.
Yep, it's growing all the time, and as you mentioned there, Icon smart contracts. Every developer I talk to seems to be really turning their attention towards that if they're not there already, and talking about the throughput and what's possible with these contracts compared to what's been previously done on Cardano, which is a great sign and great to hear from people who are in the know a lot more than I would be on the tech side. So Nick, thanks for your time today. I'll put the links down below to everything, to your own site and to the socials for people who want to follow along. And maybe we'll do a catch up in a few months to see where things are at and how things are going with the platform. Everyone watching, share it out. Sorry. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, for sure. I was to say, like, be happy to show the UI afterwards when we launch. And if you have any follow-up questions, feel free to reach out in our Discord as well.
Yeah, sounds good. Look, everyone share it out. Let people know what's going on with Dex Hunter, and subscribe if you're new. Comment questions or anything below, I can pass them to the team or join in on their socials like Discord that Nick just mentioned. Talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.